Welcome back, safe shopper. It's Robert, A1EDU, your friendly neighborhood locksmith. We wanted to bring something I don't think we've brought before, so if you're watching the channel and you're like, I just saw this one. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. This, ladies and gentlemen, is from Browning. It's the Browning ProSteel US Armored 33. You're about to get educated. Stay to the end. We're gonna give it to you all. We're gonna give you price, the weight, how many guns, what does it cost, where can I get one, all the jazz, all the things, all of them are yours and more. Are you ready? Let's get into the video. So, most important, I think, to tell you, numero uno, hopefully I'm still in focus, I didn't ask, here we go. This is an American-made product. And what does that mean when he uses words like that? This is built in Utah. Beautiful country if you've never been up there. Absolutely amazing. The steel is from local vendors, and by local I do mean in this country. Things like the gypsum board, AKA sheetrock, things like that, that's American made. So you're looking at, like other companies that make safes, when they put that flag on it, the stars and stripes, they're aiming to make as much of this thing American made as possible. There's just certain things you can't get in this country. But that being said, let's continue. We like to play a little game around here called What You See in Front of You. Stop. Here we go. We'll start with measurements. That's an easy one, okay? Pen, paper, here we go. This bad mamma jamma stands in at 60 inches tall. Very good. This dude is 31 inches wide. Depth. Now, that's gonna be from the back of the safe to the front of the safe. Just the rectangular box itself, that's 25.5 inches deep. Okay? So, a couple things with though all of that measurement stuff before we move on. Even though we're playing this game, we're gonna play another game real quick. This one is, don't forget about those parts. Your external hinges and your handle and your lock do not count in said 25.5 inches deep. Nor does the plug on the back of the safe that comes with it for electricity on the inside. So, that said, comfortably go ahead and add about 3 inches. Is there a giant 3 on the screen? Wait, comfortably add 3 inches. Okay, that's just to be cautious. Now, he told you that it was 60 inches tall. I heard him say it. However, I feel like that looks taller than that. You would be correct. You're gonna add 4¼ inches of height for the rack. Now the rack clearly fits on the dimensions we talked about, 31, 25.5. So we're good there. And anybody that owns a safe, you already know. For those of you that are new to the game and think that's just dumb and I'll never use that, the rest of us are laughing at you right now. You have no idea how much crap you're gonna put on top of your safe, I promise. Continuing. Now I said external hinges, but let's talk about them. That means that my door will allow me a 180-degree swing. That's what we get when we buy a safe with external hinges. So that's very neat. Neat. So, S&G, the top lit is what Browning ProSteel refers to it as. The top lit, why? Can you see this? Hold on. There's a little light up there. Is the light coming on? You get the idea, hold on. Put like a fake light bulb up. No, I'm kidding, there's a light there. So there's a light that shines down, so if it was in the middle of the night, you could walk up to it, you could press it, and then the light would just come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, the battery was loose, that's my fault. You ready? Now the light's on. That's right, I'm leaving it in. That's called good editing. You're welcome, internet. So, that can be, yes, changed to a mechanical. All you gotta do is ask. So, the handle, very unique. This is the Turbo 3000 Nexus model handle. Nope, not called any of those things, but it should be, because it's pretty gnarly, right? The handle here is shown in what I'm gonna lie to you and call you a metal glaze finish. And I'm gonna call it metal glaze as you're seeing it right now, because there's a bit of that same business going on that keypad we just talked about. We know that we're gonna call it metal glaze because this exterior piece here and there at the bottom of the door, those are metal glaze. And essentially all that is it's a raw steel. They take clear coat, put about 3 or 4 drops of black gloss paint in it, and then they just spray over it. Ta-da! You get this really gnarly color that they do on multiple models, so it's really cool. What else do you see in front of you, kids? Oh, the finish, that's fair. This is the satin black, and I hope that shows up well on camera. We shoot in 4K, so hopefully you can see this very well. That is absolutely sexy as hell. I'm just gonna come out and say it, I'm not afraid. I've said it, there. So with that, there's also one other color option available, and that would be the putty gray, okay? So you do have two color options. That's pretty much it in this particular line of safes, the US Armored line. What are we forgetting to talk about on the outside? Nothing. So essentially what happens is, if you happen to like this color, it's a good idea to go ahead and stop and like the video. So, see what I did there? See what happened right there? Like and subscribe if we're doing okay for you. Otherwise, move on. I get it. We'll try harder. The thing that you see in front of you, but you don't actually know it's there, is the thickness of the gauge of steel in which the box is created out of. In this particular case, this is an 11 gauge steel. Now this is really good. 11 gauge is really good. 11 gauge is not great. I'm not telling you anything like that. It's certainly not poor by any stretch of imagination. 11 gauge is really good. The door also, so that's the body, the door also is made from an 11 gauge steel. Difference being is that inside the door, behind this steel, there's a layer of even thicker steel, which is 10 gauge steel. So we've got an 11 gauge exterior, we've got a 10 gauge interior, that's great. We have the, what do they call that thing? The hardened steel pin for drilling purposes. If I was drilling to get the lock open, there's a hardened steel pin in the way. It's going to snap your drill bit every time. It's a monster to try to defeat, I promise. And then past that, we still have the re-locker inside the door, which is like a booby trap. So if you're trying to break your way in, we always call it the mouse trap. You're gonna set it off. It's literally a spring-loaded piece of steel. You shake and beat and go after it too much, you're gonna shut the safe down, okay? Those are things you see in front of you. Hold on, check the notes. I'm good with that. So, with what we see in front of us, let's go ahead and let's ajar the door. Just for a moment, don't get distracted, stay on course, you're doing great. We'll come back to and we will talk about fire next. But before that, because I like talking about the door, I feel like you're not paying attention anymore. I don't know why, but I feel like you're easily distracted. Squirrel! Stop looking inside, you ready? This is their very impressive Axis bolts. They are 4 inches by 1 inch thick, and these do protrude from all 4 sides of the door, locking this thing down when you turn the handle at night to go to bed, okay? It's exceptionally well built. On top of the re-locker, on top of the hardened pin, on top of the dual layer steel inside the door. This is a really nice box is what I'm getting at, okay? But I do want to talk about next fire, and then yes, we'll talk about the fun stuff why you came here. So right here on the edge of the door, we see a really gorgeous little gold foil sticker that tells us this thing is rated 100 minutes at 1680 degrees. I'm gonna show you what that means, but before I do want a quick side note, since you have your pen out, you've already been riding along. So if you're looking at other comparable safes in the market, you don't know, kind of the difference. Most safe companies do rate at about 1200 degrees. So if you're looking at that, the foil sticker says that you wanna find a safe that's comparable to 125 minutes at 1200 degrees. Pretty impressive. So again, we're gonna talk about 100 minutes at 1680 degrees, and then we're gonna come back to the interior and answer all your questions, because that's why you're really here. I know. It's not the beard, I get it. All right, to do that, I'm gonna turn the lights down so you can kind of see, and we'll put a graph on the screen or something like that. Here we go, you ready? Lights! You never know if that's gonna work or not. Here we go. So imagine that there's a fire, right? God forbid it's your home, we're just talking about fire. There's a fire and it's burning consistently, and it reaches 1680 degrees. And it stays that hot consistently for 100 minutes. Almost 2 hours, guys. That's a long time. It's a lot of temperature, okay? Browning ProSteel is telling us that if it burned that hot for that long, guys, that the interior is not going to breach 275 degrees on the interior, which is phenomenal fire protection. It really is. That is really great fire protection. Lights. Lights. 1 out of 2, right? So We always, I say always, I mean, I'm trying to be fair to what, we have 10 retail stores now. We've got 30 something employees in the retail department, constantly talking safes all the time. And it's kind of been said a gazillion times, roughly, give or take, 2 or 3, that 60 minutes at 1200 degrees is a really good fire protection rating based on what we see when somebody calls us because there has been a house fire and we're gonna go out and drill the safe open to get their contents and did it make it, did it not? 60 minutes to 1200 is really good. That's phenomenal if we're talking about this one, okay? All right, you guys waited long enough. I appreciate your patience. Everybody's been really good. So let's talk about the goodies because the goodies, just like my milkshake, is what brings the boys to the yard, okay? So this over here, right here, that is the DPX door storage system. Sounds right in my head. What happens with that is right off the bat in this particular size, clearly we have 3 gun or pistol pouches, right off the bat at the top. It's pretty nice. Now, for the one person watching right now that realized, did he match all 3 of those to the trim? I did. Appreciate you noticing that. So moving straight down the door, we have our quick access barrel rack. That's pretty simple. That means I can just reach on here, grab a gun, pull and go, okay? Pretty neat because then I can keep stuff from here to there. Now, obviously I only brought so many weapons today, but we moved them around enough. Hopefully you can see what's going on here. Straight down. These are they've changed names over the years. I actually saw recently, which I actually appreciated, I thought worked a little bit better. These are the SBR hooks, but it does come with 2 of those. And I want you to see, because there's a customer that taught me this trick years ago. He's like, well, you know, I only gotta put 1 or 2 on there, so even if I can just turn it sideways, and it works. It works like a champ. However, that is called a scope saver behind it. So if we needed to, if we wanted to, I can turn the weapon and the scope would clearly be inside of there, and I've got all the room in the world. Now, there are several other pouches and pockets around the door, but clearly if we start putting long guns on here, we're on the same page. That does nothing. Correct. Moving on. The interior, straight off the bat, God bless them, there's a flag. Stars and bars, I'm in every time. That comes with it. Also what comes with it is the, oh gosh, I forgot the name of it, hold on. It's the Axis shelving system. You almost got me. The Axis shelving system is a solid steel shelf that is basically polymer coated so that we've got this no slip, no stain surface, which is phenomenal. The shelves, like this cat right here that I was caressing, they claim they can hold up to about 72 pounds. Yeah, not too bad. That's legally is about the legal amount, they're allowed to tell you they can hold, because at the factory, as anybody who engineers a product, they'll tell you where they actually took a 200-pound block and they left it on a shelf for like 3 or 4 months and nothing happened. But legally, they can only tell you 72. It'll do it, that's really fun. Right off the bat, we will get 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Axis solid steel shelves. Sounds right in my head, that's what they're called. Then we'll get the barrel racks as well. Those come with 2 of those. Now, before we get over here, look right here. Look at these guys. These guys just waving in the wind. So that is your pistol rack. The pistol rack is simply an accessory that bolts onto the backside of that shelf, meaning it comes with one, but you could actually add another one to any existing shelf. It's just an add-on part, which is a gun nut. That's phenomenal. So what I'm telling you is that, oh, I haven't said it this whole time. US 33, in the Browning world, when you hear the 33 or the 49 or 49T or whatever like that, that's their long gun count. I apologize it took me that long to bring that out to you. You're probably wondering that. They call this a 33 gun safe. Now, it depends on your weapons, I know, I get it, I know. Now, I use really big and bulky items right here, but I could still put a lot more in there, I promise. So that's 33 long guns, but that's 1, 2, 3, 8 pistols. So, that's really cool. Over here, because I've had a customer that showed me a picture on his phone years ago after I sold him a safe and told me he needed another one. And he had the 65T size, which is the monster, right? It's almost 5 feet wide. He had a picture of his SBR and his pistols on a shelf off to the side. And I thought, my God, that's amazing. So I did it for you here today, so you can see how you could do that. Now, unfortunately, that Kel-Tec, I won't talk about it, but it has a carry handle on top of it. So yeah, I'll be honest with you, it didn't fit that great. But that's coming off anyway. We're gonna put a Picatinny on the top of it. It'll fit in there like a champ, right? So your SBRs and your pistols, they can go on a shelf and do something different. I can put a ton of ammo right here. I can put ammo underneath of that shelf as well. I can easily set several more guns over here in the corner. One very lovely thing that we love to talk about in the Browning ProSteel family is the elevated floor. Notice how the floor is level to my opening. So when I go to grab, a stock is not going to get caught coming in and out. It seems like a simple thing until you've banged a wood stock. It can ruin a day, maybe more than a day. So that's really nice. You'll notice the black circles in the floor. The black circles are the holes so that you can put this where it's going, or I can do it for you, and bolt it to the concrete or the wood, whatever you're doing. So it can be bolted down, which is amazing. You should be able to see rather the LED lighting. And just in case you didn't, now you do. So you've got LED lights for that plug that we talked about that's on the back side. So let's do a shot of the plug in the back because it's like a refrigerator. You put it in where it's going, plug it in, and then you've now got power on the inside of the safe. The LED lights do come with it. There's extra plugs down there. So like today I was talking to a guy, he does have a watch winder. We've said it 100 times because it gets brought up a lot. So you can plug in a watch winder, you can plug in your dehumidifier depending on where you're putting the safe as well. So you've got electricity now on the inside of the safe to do that. That's fantastic. Let's go over anything I didn't cover. Any questions? Anybody? Really nothing. Okay, I'm just gonna keep rolling it out. This bad mamma jamma right here weighs 740 pounds. So it's heavy. That's a small box with a pretty good weight, and that's because of the steel content that we talked about. That's because of the heavy duty fire rating, the massive bolts, all those things come together and they give us a really nice stance and weight. So the safe as you see it, I'm just gonna leave the door open because I know that's why you're here, okay? I get it. As you see it with the electronic lock in the satin black, with the metal glaze coloring on the handle, that is $5,288. Just to double check myself, the price is, so you can get it a little bit cheaper again in a different finish or with a different lock variation as well. So you have an option for that. Again, I've given you a lot and I appreciate you sitting there and watching it and listening. Hopefully I didn't bore you to tears. Hopefully my voice didn't annoy you. I've gotten that one. Hopefully you got educated. We had a little fun while we were doing it. What else should I tell you? This is one of those things where you're supposed to tell people things. T-shirts, we got them, right? You may have noticed as I turn around and do it one more time, bam! A1EDUstore.com. Put a little link in there for you guys to go check it out. Link to the website so you can see this and that. Again, if you enjoyed yourselves, want to tell your friends, you want to share it, and like and subscribe, follow along. We'll bring more content just like this. Robert, A1EDU, Friendly Neighborhood Locksmith. Thanks for watching.